I'm gonna make you a video just so you understand. I know you said you wanted to maybe talk to the guy you bought the motor from, and that's entirely up to you, but there's several problems. Obviously the one of them was, and I don't have it anymore, but was they siliconed the I got that picture that I sent to you. They siliconed the O-ring in the pickup tube, and that silicone, they put so much silicone in there, it actually made a good formed shape of this right there. Okay, this O-ring just goes in here, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't need silicone in here. Okay, the pickup tube pushes that O-ring into that, and it works just like that. Okay, so you should never put silicone right here on a suction side of a pump, just because that stuff it'll get up in here, and then it'll clog. It'll do the same thing that the metal does. It'll stick this relief valve open. Okay, so here's the piston in one of these. This is not yours, but that's the piston that's in this, that's supposed to go in there. You see it's missing out of this. This is your pump. I already pulled it out. This is another pump, an old pump. You see the piston's all the way to the top. Yours, well, the top of the piston was visible, so it looked like this. Actually, I did put the piston back in there, and you can't really see it, but the top of the piston, you can see the top of this piston, which that's how the oil pressure gets relieved. Is when it pushes down, and it allows oil to come back into this cavity and get recirculated through the pump. Okay, so this is your supply side, supply port right there that goes to the motor, feeds to the filter, then the filter from there goes through a cooler and back into your feed to the motor. But this one doesn't have an oil cooler, so it has a little this dude right here that the wind blew off. That's why it's on the ground. It's just got a little bypass right there, so that's on the side of your oil pan. So this piston on your pump got stuck. It was stuck open when I pulled this cover off. This cover right here, this is not your cover, this is the other cover. But when I pulled this cover off, okay, after I pulled your cover off, I looked down in there, and that piston was open. So it was allowing oil pressure to get back through there. Okay, the reason why that happened is because there's a cam bolt on the camshaft, and it don't look like the correct one. It almost looks like a crank bolt, but I mean, I may be wrong. I'll have to go find one and look. But this cover, I don't know what this cover goes to, but you see this offset right here. Here's yours on the 5.3, and there's no offset like that. So I don't know what this is for. It's probably for a 3-bolt conversion camshaft, which the 3-bolt would not have been that thick right there. So I mean, you should know that, when you're building these things or rebuilding top ends. You should not put this style of timing cover on a single bolt camshaft, which is what is in here, and I'll go get you a picture of that. Well, maybe. I'm going to try to find the flashlight. I don't have any flashlight but there's the bolt on the camshaft. So you can see right there where it was rubbing. It's tearing the bolt up too. So I mean, it rubbed all into the cover and everything else. So that stuff was just falling down into your oil pan right here, and it was going down into your pickup tube, and it was getting sucked up into that pickup tube into the oil pump. And that's ultimately what I think has either, it either stuck this relief valve open, because I don't see any issues with this really. So this should still be, the pumps should be good still, but it's just a GM pump. I'm not even sure that's a GM. No, it's not a GM pump. So this has been replaced before on that 6.0 that you bought. This came off the 6.0. If it's GM, it would have Canada on here for sure. Okay, so I don't know where this came from. They don't even say where it was built or anything. So anyway, no telling, who made that pump. Regardless, it didn't work. It stuck the valve open and it didn't pump. That's what I'm hoping. If not, then the other problem is this right here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see up in here, but there's the two oil circuits in the motor. Okay, the one on the left right there, that's the supply. So that comes from the pump, okay, and it goes through your filter and then maybe to the cooler if you have a cooler. This one doesn't. And then it comes out of the filter and it supplies the motor, the top end, the main bearings, bottom end, all that with the oil pressure. So I took a borescope up in there and I took some pictures, and it looks like normal, oil up in there. So I don't see any metal shavings up in there. So I just hope it didn't go that far. What went to the pump didn't go that far. If it did, it's got your supply side on the oil circuit stopped up, then the motor needs to be torn apart so you can clean out all those circuits and start over. So, and then the other problem I'm having, and I'll send you pictures of this too, but this freaking oil pan, I ain't gonna come out of here without, I still ain't figured out how I want to try to do that, because right now the only way I see to do it is either get this front diff out of the way and try to pull it out this way, or drop this whole lift. So let's just pick your poison basically. And you're asking about maybe a vibration on your left front. That's probably it right there. So I still got grease in there, so it's probably okay, but it's got a little bit of play in it, so that might be what you're feeling or hearing. So that probably needs to be